Hey, Master Gardeners, we got some pretty cool citrus here, and this Master Gardener is accomplished at keeping citrus year after year. This one is almost 25 years old. She's been bringing this in and storing it, and we're going to go over how to do the storage. But let's look at some of these different types of citruses that she has and learn some facts about them. So this one, you probably can guess what it is. This is the Meyer Lemon, big yellow fruit. The interesting thing about having a lemon is all throughout the year, it's flowering and fruiting. They're all different stages. This is just a perpetual producer. She does keep it pruned on a regular basis. She does root pruning when she has to repot them. You can see they're in a large container. That's one of the things you have to do if you're going to do container citrus, is have large containers and a strong husband that's willing to carry them in for you. But this is a wonderful showy plant. It's got nice glossy green leaves. And in the fragrance, if you're familiar with citrus, the fragrance of them blooming in the winter in a house is unbelievable. It's a heavenly scent. They're self-pollinators. We're going to look at a kumquat, a kaffir lime, and this Meyer Lemon, all three self-pollinators. So you don't have to worry about having a second cultivar to develop fruit on it. She does keep them fertilized. She actually uses a citrus fertilizer on these. She starts fertilizing as soon as she brings them outside for the summer months. But they'll ripen all through the seasons. She's ready to get into some of these. The reason that you grow them really is for the fragrance of the flower, the nice foliage, good patio plant, and the fruit, it's a bonus. And she does like to cook it with it. You can certainly use the rind as well as consuming the fruit. So an awesome plant. The interesting story about this is really the typhoid Mary. When it came to the United States, it was brought by a USDA scientist, and he brought it to the States, and it was infected with a virus which began to spread to all the citrus population. So they had to take the lemon into the laboratory and rebreed, and the Meyer is a new improved cultivar now that does not carry that toxic virus that was spreading through citrus. So back in the old days it was a bad one, but now the new improved ones are all the ones you buy. They're all grafted. You know what grafts look like. You can see the graft union on these. On any of your citrus, you have to be careful that you're not getting sprouts down below the graft union. You'd be watchful for that, because the rootstock is going to be a more vigorous plant than the upper part of the plant. So you can see that division line right on there where it was grafted. As I said, the kumquat, the kaffir lime, and this Meyer Lemon, all three are grafted plants. So we're not gonna cut one of these, but we're gonna cut one of these kaffir limes for you. When you're cutting your fruit off of these, you have to make sure you don't just grab it by hand and yank it off, because it can tatter and tear the wood. You have to use snips, scissors, or something. But come look at this lumpy little guy. This is not just grown for the lime itself. As you can see, it's a lumpy little guy. We're going to cut one and show you because it tends to be dry inside. It's not grown for the juice. It's grown because the leaf is so useful. Let's look at a leaf real close. The way you can identify is the leaf. The petiole is winged. So I'm going to come over here. You can see the wing. On the leaf of the kaffir lime, the petiole, which is usually the stem, has a leafy bract on it, which is almost 1/2 the size of the leaf itself. It can be 1/2 to almost 3/4 the size. That might help you to identify a kaffir lime. So a cool plant. Let's look inside of it. Come on down here. We're going to look down. I'll cut it for you so you can see the dry. Let me cut it and pick it up for you. So it's real dry inside. Not much oozing out of that. You probably might say, well, can I start seeds? It would not be recommended that you start seeds from your citrus, because these are bred specifically and they're grafted. So I don't recommend saving seeds and starting them that way. But that's real dry inside, not much oozing out of there. You certainly could use it, I guess, to make a limeade of some kind. The kaffir is supposed to be a little bit more cold tolerant than some of these other citruses. And actually, this guy is even more cold tolerant. Here's kumquat. Have you ever eaten them? Kind of zany little fruits. You eat the whole thing, you pop it in your mouth. Here's the fruits on it. They're kind of oblong in shape, and they're going to turn orange when they're ripe and ready. This is the first year that our Master Gardener's been growing these. Pretty little orange fruits that'll develop. You pop the whole thing in. Kind of a mix of bitter and sweet. And this is more cold tolerant than the other two altogether. So what kind of problems can you expect on them? Certainly when they're outside for the summer months, you can expect to get spider mites on your foliage. So you do want to spray in the fall before you bring them in. You can use a horticultural oil to do that. In the fall, you would use a summer spray for that. You could use insecticidal soap. She's got some scale on hers. If you're not familiar with scale, it's these little brown marks. They look like little drops of maple syrup. They'll actually peel right off. See how he peels up? Oh, that one's dead. You can tell if they're dead because of the way they peel up. When they're alive, they're kind of gooey inside and they don't peel off easy. Yeah, they're all dead. Yeah, isn't that encouraging? Yeah. Now that one might be alive a little. But anyway, an oil spray will coat over top of that female and can suffocate her. So you have to be watchful. Oftentimes you can just use Q-tip with alcohol on it to control some of these, or just do a heavy spray. So then you say, well, how does she grow these and have it 20 years old and keep it in the winter months? They're not hardy here in Maryland. We're in zone 7. You're not going to find these guys wintering here. I think they're zone 9. Most of them are zone 9. I can't see it on my notes real quick, but something like 9. So you have to store them in the winter. You got to bring them in the house. You got to have a sunny window, or you have to provide some light for them because they're going to maintain their foliage all during the winter. These are not deciduous. These are tropicals. So you got to maintain the foliage. So look over there. You can see her bank barn. They have a specialized room that they've built inside the barn. And inside the barn, they've got it insulated. So the temperature is dipping down to probably almost 32 degrees inside there. She's got fluorescent lights inside, heat, fluorescent lights, and then watering. She does have to watch them and make sure they're maintaining the water level by sticking your finger in. And she's got circulation fans moving the air all the time. Another important factor. So these are not as hard as you think. If you've got a place that you can keep them like a barn, it's not heated, but it is jammed up against the bank there to retain some heat. This is possible. You can try these citrus. And if you have a sunny sunroom, you can bring them in. If you can keep the bugs off of them, you can raise these guys. Give it a try, Master Gardeners.